Alright, did you know that Bitcoin with a capital B is not the same as Bitcoin with a lowercase b? That's because if we write it with a capital B, we are referring to the unit, where 1 Bitcoin is equal to 100,000 Satoshis. And if you write Bitcoin with a lowercase b, we are referring to the protocol. And the Bitcoin protocol is essentially just a high-level description of how Bitcoin works and how you need to implement a software that can interact with other computers running a Bitcoin node. The meaning Bitcoin software. So what exactly is a protocol? Think of a protocol like a recipe. Imagine you invented a new type of chocolate cake, a red chocolate cake, and you wanted to share your invention with the world. You would then write a recipe, which is basically just a high-level description of what it is. A red chocolate cake with a base, filling, and so on. Then you would reveal your secret sauce, how it works, and it's basically just that you're mixing red pepper powder with white chocolate, for example. And you would then also detail the ingredients, what it is made out of, and instructions on how to create your own red chocolate cake. And so you would then publish your invention or the recipe on some website. And the same way Satoshi introduced his invention to the world by mailing the white paper on the cypherpunk mailing list. And the cypherpunks were basically just a group of computer nerds that were really into cryptography and privacy. And so the white paper was just like a recipe, a description of the most important concepts and ideas behind Bitcoin. Feel free to find it online and read it, but don't worry if you don't understand it after reading the white paper, because you need a lot of computer science knowledge. And I think most people that tell you they understood Bitcoin after reading the white paper are full of shit. But anyways, so just like a recipe explains to you how you can create a red chocolate cake, the Bitcoin protocol explains to you how you can write a software that allows you to turn your computer into a Bitcoin node and become part of the Bitcoin network. And it is also just a high-level description of what it is. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And then the secret sauce behind it, you know, how it works, all the logic and ideas. For example, the miners need to group the transactions into blocks. The nodes then have to validate those blocks, all these kinds of stuff. And it also has ingredients, right? I mean, Satoshi didn't invent cryptography or hash functions, but every node needs to use the same type of cryptography and hash function. For example, you're using elliptic curve cryptography, and the hash function, there are different types, but the one that we use is called SHA-256. Now we can go into detail on those in another video. For now, just know that just like a cake uses, for example, red pepper and white chocolate, a Bitcoin node needs to use elliptic curve cryptography and this type of hash function. And then it also has specific instructions on how to build your Bitcoin node. But luckily you don't have to write your own code, because Satoshi was a real cypherpunk, and true cypherpunks write code. And so Satoshi did not just publish the white paper, but he also published the first implementation of a Bitcoin node. And this software turned into what is now Bitcoin Core. You can find the executable, basically the regular software that you can just run on your computer, on bitcoincore.org, or you can go to github.com and find every single line of code that is behind this software. Because Bitcoin is open source, which means that the whole logic, every single line of code can be found online, downloaded and modified. And this means that all around the world, every computer nerd can help improve Bitcoin by fixing bugs or adding new features. And so the more people use Bitcoin, the better it will become. Now, you don't have to be a computer nerd to use Bitcoin. As I said before, you can just download Bitcoin Core, or if you want to, you can look into Bitcoin Nuts, but stick to Bitcoin Core if you're new. And so, once you've downloaded Bitcoin Core, you turn your computer into a node that becomes part of the network. And your computer will do all kinds of stuff for you. For example, it will listen if there is a new block. It will then verify this block for you, and if it is a valid block, it will add all the new transactions to your ledger. It will also allow you to create a Bitcoin wallet and send and receive Bitcoin. And even better, you can use a hardware wallet and connect it to your Bitcoin node. And if you wanted to, you could even connect mining hardware and become a Bitcoin miner. And so hopefully I was able to illustrate to you what a protocol is and introduce you to the Bitcoin software. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.